Anyway, let's move on to the fifth place. Another surprise, Nottingham Forest, basing their their style on a strong defense. Talking about defenses, I think they're the second best defense in the league right now, right? Or something like that. There's my man Chris Wood, man, banging goals left, right, and center. Just a quick word on Nottingham, man.
Man, they up there in terms of biggest surprise for me. Like Nottingham Forest was nowhere to be found last season. They were battling for relegation, and all of a sudden, they are standing firm, at the top of the table. It's not like they are lucky to be there. They've been winning slightly convincingly, with some braces from Chris Wood, as you just shouted him out just now.
Chris Wood has to be the worst best striker in the league.
Yeah.
Because have you seen the Nottingham Forest game? The guy, his touch is worse than Lukaku's. For a big guy, his link-up play is iffy. But the guy is always gonna be there at some point and score that goal, man.
For real.
He's the worst best striker in the league.
And when you expect to score, he completely flukes it, and then the crazy chance, the one-off chance is going to get it's at the back of the net. Yeah, I mean, big surprise. I think they will choke. They have to choke, otherwise they cannot.
That's Europa League, man. Jeez.
There's no way.
Yeah, that's me on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive surprise. I did not think they would be anywhere close to fifth, but I mean, I've seen a couple games and they've looked good for it. I mean, they know what they do. They're comfortable in their style. They have the players for it. And like you said, Chris Wood will do absolutely nothing for 90 minutes, and then he will pop in and score a tap in, and then he's celebrating, bro. And
exactly.
I mean, I mean, you can't knock the guy. That's his game.
Using my fantasy and not going anywhere anytime soon. Anyway, Brighton, who actually are having a very, very decent season. Brighton and the next team, Fulham as well. Let's put them two in the same bracket because I think they're kind of similar kind of level. Brighton and Fulham are probably my two favorite teams apart from Arsenal to actually watch. I will actually go out and watch a Brighton game or a Fulham game just for the beauty of the game, the entertainment, the beauty of the place, and those two teams will never disappoint. Win or lose, these guys will always put on a show, man. I mean, when you look at Brighton, drew against Arsenal, beat City, and they've had some really. And my man, Danny Welbeck, resurgent. Danny Welbeck, what you guys saying?
Brighton, man. Brighton. I love a bit of Brighton, man, and I love to see Danny Welbeck just aging like fine wine, finally getting. To be fair to him, I know we laugh about him, but his career injuries really killed him because there were moments in his career where he was like, oh, Welbeck is looking decent, and then he'll get injured for 6 months and then you don't see him. And then he has to start again, but
the guy was referred to as Bambi on Ice when he was playing for United, Those days are long gone.
They're long gone. He actually has a touch now, which is mad. He has a serious touch now. And I mean, he's just the perfect striker for that system. I mean, he's big, strong, powerful, that can play, can move the ball, can link it up. And he's playing so well. It's so nice to see. And Brighton is playing so well. And somebody else I want to shout out is Van Hecker at the back. Man, he looks solid, man, this guy. He had Haaland in his pocket in the last game, and he can play as well. He's so good.
Some really good players. I mean, Baleba for me is top.
Baleba as well. He's a top player
in the league right now. This guy is a monster in midfield. He can do every single thing. he can pop up with a goal.
Yeah.
Brilliant technically. He's strong, passing. The guy is just a complete player, man. Just like he's giving me Yaya Toure vibes. This guy, man.
Yes. He's a top player.
He's a game changer for them, and that showed the recent game when he came in at halftime. Games changed right away.
I can't believe he was on the bench for that. I'm like, what the hell,
man?
I don't know. I guess that's maybe one thing about their manager. He likes to change it a lot.
He changes
when it's not necessary.
But that was going to be my main comment for Brighton. I feel like they could be so much better. I feel like he's not. Yes, he's doing good. Yes, the position is fair, but I feel like they have so much more they can offer. My boy Adingra, getting treated
overlooked.
Man. Yeah, he came in the recent game as well, and obviously didn't show his true potential. But I feel like he's still working on the combination that's gonna go the long way. And yes, if he finds it, they can be very, very threatening for especially the teams at the top. They're gonna be really hard to get points off of.
Yeah, they'll definitely shock a few. And just a few words again for. Fulham is just like a mini Arsenal over there with the Arsenal click over there. You got a striker. What's his name again? Just a resurgent as well. Him, Jimenez. Started finding his scoring boots again. And Emil Smith Rowe, man. How are we missing this guy? This guy would have been the perfect replacement for other guy right now.
In this form,
I'm just very happy for him that he's just kicking his career back again, this is very entertaining team to watch, and win or lose, you will just never disappointed with them. Newcastle at 8th position. What do you make of Newcastle this year, man? Because they're a weird team. They're a weird team to judge.
They're really weird. They're really weird. It's so inconsistent as well. They have to be up there in inconsistencies. And I mean, since Isaac came back, they're looking a little bit better. But I don't know. They're definitely underperforming. Not as solid as they used to be at the back, which was their biggest strength for a few seasons. And I think that's what's hurting them the most. They look playable. They look like you can get wins out of them, especially again at the back. I don't know. I don't think they can. I don't think they can do anything this year. I think where they are right now is probably where they're going to be. They a little bit on a downhill right now, having sold so many players and rotation.
Not replacing them.
Manager getting old as well. Not getting old in age, but it's becoming the same story over and over with them. Nothing new is being brought in, and that's costing them. It definitely is.
Yeah, I think they're about where they're gonna finish right now. They're a very weird team. Even when they win, they don't look great. Like I've seen a couple games where they won and they got battered the whole game, and then they have fast guys up top, so they're always gonna have a chance on the counter. So they just look like they're stagnating as a club. Really, they try to take the.
I think that's the word, just stagnating.
Yeah, they're just stagnating. They try to not come and spend a lot like City and be slow, take the slow approach. But you still gotta buy players. Like you can just sell and not replace them and not get any like good players in. You still gotta make transfers, and they haven't really done well in the transfer windows for a while, and it just doesn't look great for them right now. And I think this is about their level, 8th, 9th, maybe 10th. I don't see them like getting Europe, or if they do, maybe like a Conference League. But they're just a weird team. But they are St. James's Park, so on any given day, if the crowd is good, they can beat you. But that's about it, really.
Yeah, that's it. It's just a team that just lives off emotion. That's why they're better. That's why they're better at home than they are away from home.
Yeah.
But they are a little bit shackled by financial fair play, because they're not a club that brings in that much money, and they cannot spend the money that the owners are bringing in. It's funny. I would be so frustrated if I was Newcastle fan to have the richest owners in anything, in any sports, anything, but you can't spend that money. It's like having money in the bank and you can't go at the ATM and just get it out. You can't do it. So you just, that's just torture, you know what I mean? So I mean, they are pretty much shackled by that, so they have to sell before they buy and all that kind of stuff. So, and you know, the players that they want to sell, not gonna bring in that much money to replace them for where they want to go. So players that actually have value, like Isaac and stuff like that, they don't really want to sell, but eventually I think they will have to, because this guy will probably bring you in about 100 million and you can start again. Do something else with that. But you cannot keep this kind of players if you cannot build on them. And I will have to agree with them. They're probably where they right now, where they are, where they'll finish as well. Aston Villa, disappointing season. We have talked them up so much at the beginning of the season, and they did start it pretty well.
They started well.
And really well. A run of disappointing results sees them 9th right now. Has the Unai Emery magic? You guys love Unai Emery. He's like the second best manager in the league for you guys. I mean, that's your opinion. Has the Unai Emery magic gone?
I would say, and if Thierry, you want to pull up the last few games, I think they did have some tough games as of recent, compared to the beginning of the season where they were doing well. But besides the results, I do think, yes, they are feeling a little bit, what's the word? What word can I use? Not up to gear, right? They're not feeling like the Villa we've seen. I was counting on my boy Watkins to be a surprise, a revelation, at least to carry
best
them.
Player of the league, you said. Best player of the league.
Man, hey, look.
PFA player of the league, bro.
Look. I thought he had to come from somewhere, and it hasn't come from him, and we're seeing what we're seeing right now because of that. I think yes, they have Duran that's been coming in clutch for them like crazy, especially earlier.
But that's been dying off. That's been dying off as well. Like he hasn't been like lately.
He hasn't, and maybe that's a suggestion of a change of a system. Maybe you can do that for forever. Obviously, he's not going to come in clutch every single time. Maybe play with 2 up top. Maybe change a little bit of something. I did think as well that they sold a little too much last summer. Moussa Diaby was a big surprise for me leaving, and I think.
But they're both well. Onana coming in, that was the big player for them as well. I mean, so I think they had a decent window.
And
the guy from Leeds, is it Somerville? Oh no, that's West Ham. Sorry, I'm mixing my clarinet.
Yeah, these teams are easy to mix up.
Same jersey.
Yeah. They were up there, in the transfer window in terms of signings and selling and all of that. We definitely rank them high, but overall, again, as we sing the season pan out, I feel like it has not worked necessarily in their favor. Again, maybe I'm just recency biased here a little bit, but let's see. I don't know what's needed to turn it around. I do think that, again, we can see here, Liverpool, Spurs, these are games that you expect to be tough for them, and they were tough. I think they still had a chance against Spurs. They just crumbled that game. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Unai turns it around. I still think that he can, with a little bit of change, with a little bit of a different approach. And not sure if they can finish top 4 though. Not sure if they can even be top 6.
Wow, I feel like you guys are very harsh with them. Wow. I mean, look,
I don't agree that they cannot finish top 4, because when you look at the points, there's only like 2 points.
1 point behind third place.
So the position is deceptive, kind of. But I'm just saying, for me to see visually, just to see them at 9th is just not what I was expecting at the beginning of the season. But I mean, they can definitely finish top 4 right now. There's only like 2-3 points between it. Like the next game they win, they probably have to again.
I just think that they're not the Villa of last season, and obviously you can't expect them to maintain that course. I just think that yes, they've dropped the level a little bit. That's my point.
Sure.
I mean, I just this is a team that got into the Champions League. They've had tough Champions League games that they had to probably prioritize because they're in the Champions League.
True.
So this is they're playing two big, like obviously Champions League, Premier League. So you have 2 tough games a week that they haven't had for how long. So I think they're just getting well in the Champions League. To be fair, they're doing well in the Champions League. I think they lost the last game, but before that, I think they have won every game.
They were top, yeah.
They're 1 point off third place, and that's because the last 2 games they lost to Tottenham and I think Liverpool, was it? I mean, okay, Tottenham, yeah, you can say, yeah, that's Tottenham. But Tottenham, they can, on a good day, they can do you some stuff. So I feel like they're not doing that bad. Obviously, they're not as good as last season, like you said. There's been a little bit of a drop-off in form, but they started well. And if they can fix their defensive issues because they're conceding way too many goals, I think they're gonna climb up the table. I think they've done all right. You guys are being harsh.
Nobody said they trash.
I get it, but I feel like it's a natural kind of progression for a club like Aston Villa when you do get in the Champions League that the next season you're not the same level. But I feel like they're still doing okay. Like if you compare to maybe a Newcastle, for example, last year that got in the Champions League and they crumbled. Like they crumbled. So Aston Villa, I feel like has kept their level somewhat, and they have given themselves a good base to like do better. But obviously, like your man Watkins, he needs to wake up. I think you jinxed him. So he needs to wake up, and
he has too much pressure right now, man.
Yeah, you put too much pressure on him.
He's listening to us, man. He's got too much pressure.
I know. You can tell he's a big fan of the show.
I need to be PFA player of the year. I need to be PFA player of the year, man. It's getting to my head.
No, I think that would be all right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Villa, like I said, visually, just to see them knife, it's just the shocking bit. And then when you look at the points, you're like, oh no, they're really not far behind. But what I'm just saying, like, what I'm going to say is just Unai Emery is just that guy. Is a cup guy. Unai Emery is a cup manager. He's not a league manager. People are going to point to.
You just want to attack him because.
I'm not attacking. I'm just saying what it is. People are going to point to the fact that he went to PSG and did well there. Sabri Lamouchi can go to PSG and win the league there. You know what I mean? Anybody can go there and win the league. You know, unless you maybe Pochettino. But like at the end of the day, this guy his CV speaks for himself. The guy is a great cup manager, but in the league, he's always struggled. But people are gonna say, yeah, but he didn't have this team, didn't have that team. Doesn't deserve to have him. So that's the point. But I mean, at the end of the day, we were looking for Aston Villa just to kick on. Looking for Aston Villa to kick on, and in the league, I mean, they're doing fantastic in the Champions League. Yeah. But to your point, Thierry, and I agree with you, fighting on these two fronts, something's got to give, and it looks like the league might be. But I mean, we're not even expecting them to go anywhere in the Champions League anyway. Yes, they'll probably go through that first phase, but then when it gets to the nitty-gritty, they're probably gonna step out. But the main thing about them is the squad. The squad is not good enough to fight on these two fronts, and that's probably going to catch up to them at the end, in the long run. But anyway, let's move on to a similarly disastrous team, Spurs. Man. Spurs having one of the Spursiest seasons ever. And I'm all for that, man. I am all for it. What you guys say, man?
What's there new to say about this team?
Today is to do. That's the motto. Today is to do. To do what? To do what?
I got nothing new to say. Look at the last results. Look at the last results. He tells you everything. That's
everything you want to know. Exactly.
Everything you want to know. Lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, great, bad. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Nothing's gonna change.
Just who we are, mate. Just who we are.
Yeah. I mean, that's just who they are, like you guys said. I mean, I just want all these ESPN Ange Postecoglou lovers of last season that were telling us he was the best thing since sliced bread. If he was at Arsenal, he would win the league. If he was at Man U, he would turn things around. Like they were comparing him to everybody and anything that they could have done. And here we are. We said it all along. You come, you have a great season, but the Prem figures you out. The Prem will figure you out. And that's what happened. That's what is happening right now. And I mean, that 10th, it's incredible that they cannot win 2 games in a row. Like this is literally incredible. They cannot win 2 games in a row.
You know the best thing. I don't know if you guys watch DR Sports.
And sometimes
DR Sports. It's probably one of the funniest shows on YouTube right now. Yeah, because you have this Spurs fan, especially this Abby girl. She's like,
yeah.
Oh, the Abby girl, yeah.
And from week to week, you don't even have to watch the games, like, but she will come with chest one week. Oh, we're gonna win the Champions League. We're gonna win the World Cup. Blah blah blah. And then next week, the next week, oh yeah, sure, we're gonna get relegated. Like, I'm not saying word for word what she's saying, but it's just the feeling week to week. It's just like just from high up here to down here. That cannot be good for your blood pressure, man. I'm telling you. This club is killing people slowly. And it's just Spurs, mate. It's just Spurs. But anyway, man, I don't think there's much to say about this team.
Yeah, that's all there is. Really.
Spurs,
no need to elaborate.
And then let's just kick on from there. Anyway, yeah, Brentford and Bournemouth, just where they should be. I mean, is there much to say about them? Not really. I'll probably move on to United. Guys, Manchester United having a fantastic season for me, considering who they are.
Wow.
I mean, some great news for me. Well, I mean, probably for you guys, but I mean, it's not actually great news for us non-United fans. But finally, Ten Hag. I don't think we've had a chance to talk about it, right? But Ten Hag is finally gone to your club, and it looks like you guys, on paper, Amorim looks like a decent guy, a decent replacement. I mean, I was kind of impressed with what Ruud van Nistelrooy was doing with the team, but I mean, it looks like it was never the choice for him. We'll see what Amorim is going to do. What is the first thing that that Amorim needs to do when he comes in?
I think he stated himself in the interview. He's coming with identity, right? He's coming with a little bit of reinsurance in the way we play in. Okay, so that's been the biggest criticism of Ten Hag. So he has to come in and correct that right away if he doesn't want fans to get on his back.
A criticism that you disagreed with when we're talking about it. You were like identity. But now the first thing that your new guy comes and says, we're gonna bring identity.
Yeah.
So maybe we went too wrong about that when we said that.
Well,
I don't know about that.
You could say that.
That's
could
a
say
normal
that.
rhetoric that you bring in at a new club usually.
Yeah, you want to fix the problems that are common, the problems that are popular, the problems that everybody talks about. You're gonna want to be the one that fixes that to get everybody behind you, right? You cannot say, oh yeah, I don't care about style of play. Let me not even worry about that, That's just going to rally people up against them, okay? So it's the obvious thing, and I would say, yes, you guys were not completely wrong about it. For me, it's just not something as important. As long as, there is results, there is progression, and we are heading somewhere. Because I can name a few teams that don't have a clear style of play. They're still winning stuff and doing good here and there, right? So I think that's something that varies for him, for this guy specifically. That's going to be his main thing because he's coming with a different system that Man U has not considered ever at any point. And that's a system that I believe with Thierry, I've mentioned that a few times. I'm like, our team looks like a team that can play a 4-3-3 or even a 3-5-2 type of thing, especially with the back line that we have. I literally made a formation like that was a few months ago, highlighting that specifically, if that's what he comes and does from day one, I'll be on board with that. I'm not going to get hyped up with him at all because he has kind of the same accolade Ten Hag had, or new upcoming manager, done well here and there, blah, 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 blah.
Even less because Ten Hag came in as a big boy.
Exactly, so it's a tough one. It's a tough one. We just want to see some wins coming in. We just want to climb up the table, get some dignity back. That's one of the biggest things here at the moment. And I think he has all the tools to do that. I think he has the team to do that. Euro is coming back. We have players coming back, Mount as well. Not that they are game changers or anything, but they kind of fit his system. So as you mentioned yourself, Jan, a good thing a manager can do is come in and use what he has at his disposal before making all the drastic changes. And it feels like that's what he can do at the moment. And that's what Ten Hag did the first season, So, we're not going to go back necessarily on Ten Hag. We've said all that we could say about him. But the way he left was pretty surprising. They waited for that defeat. I guess that was, I forgot who against. That was against West Ham to sack him when they could have done it before. They had ample chances, but I guess that was the final straw for them. And the one thing I'm happy about that brought is the calm in the club, because Ten Hag was just a divider, just not himself, but in the community.
His presence
was so dividing to the fan base, and it's going to be nice to get a united fan base once again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for Ruud that he did well, and I think he just did what we all thought should have been done, and somehow Ten Hag was not seeing it, and just be more conservative. And obviously,
go back to basics.
Ahmad.
Yeah, and play Ahmad. Yeah, and play Ahmad.
Play the players that are actually on form.
Yeah, and play the players that are actually on form. So
that was rocket science.
It was not rocket science, but Ten Hag just could not see it, and I don't know why. But it was nice that it came at maybe that's why they did it then. I don't know, but there was a nice run of fixtures after they sacked Ten Hag, so it was a good moment maybe to sack him. So I'm happy for Ruud that he did that. I'm sad that they let him go. Maybe he wanted to leave, I don't know, but he left. The new manager, I mean, for me, it's just Ten Hag 2.0, and I hope he's gonna work out. Obviously, in terms of what? In terms of the reputation, like this, I'm not saying he is like he plays like Ten Hag or whatever. I'm just saying it feels like the same appointment. You're getting an up and coming manager, did well in another country, like he's been looked at or wanted by few other clubs, and you're bringing him in like young. Well, he's younger than Ten Hag was, but again, a dogmatic type manager that has his own way. As from reports, I don't know much about him. I've only seen Sporting play once during his time there, and that was like 2 years ago. Obviously, we all seen the highlights of them destroying City recently, but that's about it.
About that though, just to catch you a little bit about that though. Goikarez, does it not give you like Haaland vibes? Just the way
It
he
does.
runs and everything.
Yeah, just the way he moves. Yeah,
It does.
Brother, I was like,
yeah. No, he does definitely the way he moves and the way he runs too. Like it's just like it has the same run kind of. But yeah, man, he looks like a top player. So we'll see what happens with him later. But yeah, I just feel like it's just kind of the same as the Ten Hag appointment, and I feel like he's gonna come and he's gonna do the same thing in terms of getting the club settled and getting everybody on board and doing well initially. And I think where we're gonna see if this is a better appointment or not is when it's time to make that progression where you make the team. When you make the team kind of look more like what you want them to look like. Can you do that? And Ten Hag was not able to do that. And in the end, it didn't work out for him. And will this guy be able to do that? I hope so. He seems like a nice guy. He seems very likable. He's saying all the right things, but I think that's what you say when you come to a new club. I think Ten Hag said similar things when he came in. So that's why you say you get the people on board, and he's doing that. I'm intrigued with the 3-4-3 because, like Freddie said, we have been talking about that for a little bit. Just doing something different, try something new. Like, let's see if that would be better. But nobody wanted to do that, so it'll be nice to. Yeah, it'll be nice to see something different, and we'll see how it's gonna go. I mean, it's always exciting to have a new manager. Go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick. The main difference, though, and that's back to your point before you deviate from that, is from when Ten Hag came to when Amorim is coming right now. It's two different Man United. Okay, Ten Hag came.
That's true.
And we had a whole transition above him going on as he was there. He had a whole club sale to deal with. He had an injury crisis to deal with, and that was pretty much from season one. In this case, though, it feels like there is more in place for this guy. And he actually came with his whole staff. That's why Nistelrooy had to go, because he didn't want to merge anything. He's like, I'm coming with my stuff. And the stage is set for that, So I do think I hear what you're saying, and that's something I said as well. In the hype about the person itself, it sounds similar to Ten Hag, but the conditions that he's coming in are completely different, and I think that might be the saving grace here.
That's true.
Yeah, and that will probably go towards be to the club's benefit, actually, because you are getting somebody who comes in with a more settled club, which I think is what you were implying, and so basically all he needs to do is just come in and then just get to work. Don't worry about anything else. Everything else upstairs is settled, and then you just come in and then you just do your stuff. Do your stuff in terms of improvement. I think his biggest challenge for him is going to be to unite the fan base, because, like you said, regardless of what Ten Hag was doing or not doing, he was a divisive figure. It just reminds me of Wenger's last 2-3 years, where the club was basically split in half, and you just have to remove. Whether you love him or not, whether you agree with what he's doing or not, if he's the problem, if he's that divisive, you just have to remove that divisive aspect, and then start again. And that is, for me, is going to be the beneficial thing for you guys. I mean, we've seen what's his name, Fernandez looks like he's a different player right now for the last couple of games.
All of a sudden,
and Ahmad is got given a couple of chances, because what was there wasn't rocket science. It was Ten Hag's idea, but he was going against what a lot of people was seeing. Actually, it's not even what they want is what they're seeing. You know, look, this guy is not performing. Take him off. It just took him too long to do it, and at the end of the day, it just became untenable for him to stay at the club. So I'll actually see the least that this guy can do is have a new manager bounce and see where that takes you. That new manager bounce, see where that takes you. Just try and drag it out as long as possible. Climb up the table, play game by game, because it's gonna be difficult for him though. Like it's not the Messiah. He's just walking across the Red Sea and then coming and saving anybody. It's gonna be difficult, but he has good players at his disposition. That's one thing. He has good players. Maybe they weren't performing, so he has to be that guy who goes to Rashford there and be like, "Hey, you are the best player in the world." But you
leave this guy, please.
I'm giving examples.
I get you. Yeah.
He has to go. He has to go to Martinez at the back and be like, "Yo, you are better than this." Because Martinez for me has been poor this year, just poor. Like defensively, I think your best player defensively is both your fullbacks. Even though Dalot just missed that unmissable chance. But Mazzari, I've been impressed with. This guy is just he's a good player. He's a very good player. I've been impressed with this guy. Go to Fernandez. Is it Fernandez or Hernandez? I always get mixed up.
Fernandez.
But Fernandez, go to Fernandez here and Bruno, and then just be like, "Yo, listen, you're the best 10 in the world, man. You can do this, you can do that." Just bring that confidence back in that team. That's going to be his biggest challenge. Let's see if he's up to it.
Yep.
No, that's true, and I think we will get a manager bounce. I mean, again, we're kind of like we were saying about Aston Villa. We are only 3 points from the 6th place and 4 points from 3rd place. So I don't think we're gonna be 3rd, but it is very tight at the top there, and there's a long way to go. And I do think we get that manager bounce. I do think we probably get Europa League or something. But it will be interesting to see how he plays it, because I think it's going to be very conservative, relying on counter-attack type stuff. I don't think it will be expensive, nice play, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
We'll see how it goes. All right.